wanted to do something here just to switch it up a little bit. We're going to be all Niners all the time, but we think about the larger picture. We think about the league on the whole. And
Oh, I thought you
everyone,
were talking about life in general and
oh,
time
we
and
we do
space.
that too. I mean, that's a side YouTube hustle for me down the line, I suppose, because we're all hustling every day.
You're talking to a kid who went to a planetarium in fourth grade and had a panic attack. So,
There you go. Um, that is the most spot on. That the lore is fulfilled
yeah.
now. Listen, everybody's doing bold predictions. That's fine. It's good content. I enjoy consuming it. So we wanted to go just one step beyond. We wanted to shift the Overton window here, and we wanted to go unhinged predictions.
Hmm.
And let's establish the ground rules now. A bold prediction is one that if you get one out of blank right, you get to do as many victory laps as you want. And really, you just have to be in the vicinity to do it. Okay? An unhinged prediction is basically that to infinity, right? Like if any of this even comes close to happening, we're the smartest men
Correct.
alive. And if it doesn't happen, you're a fool for thinking that we ever thought it to be true. And with that incredible lead in, Jake, what is your first unhinged prediction for the 2025 NFL season?
Okay, I'm not sure how unhinged it is,
Okay. Okay.
but I mean, I feel like we should start on the and work up. I'll say the Colts will win the AFC South. I know that doesn't sound crazy, but everyone's extremely high on the Texans.
Yeah.
And am I a fan of Daniel Jones? No, not particularly. But I do think the Colts have a really just like every position is pretty solid. I think they're decently coached, and I just think that they're gritty, right? They've got some decent pieces, and it's a weird kind of crappy division. And I just think I like Josh Downs. I like all of their like they're all wide receiver twos. Michael Pittman's like barely a wide receiver one, but they've just got a lot of options. I like the Colts. I like their defense. I think Steichen's got something. We'll see. But I don't know. I just if I'm looking at that garbage division and everyone's getting high on the Texans supply, I think they could absolutely blow it and the Colts are right there for the taking.
To Shane Steichen's credit, he almost made the playoffs with Gardner Minshew as his starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So they have, as you said, good players across the board. Um, it's the whole Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson thing that kind of
Not good.
blows it
Not
up
good
for
at
me.
all.
I'm gonna stick in the division for my first unhinged take. I think the Titans win the AFC South
Love it. Love it. Almost went there.
because what I was
But
just
how do you
saying.
get over you hate their head coach so much?
Yes, but I can't hold last year fully against him
Mm.
on the basis of Will Levis was their starting quarterback.
Big
So,
change of tone here. Big change of tone.
I mean, listen, I was very angry and very frustrated. But the reasons that I was in to begin with last year with the Titans, which is I really like their roster. I think that the defense, especially on the interior of the defensive line with Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons, is like as good as it gets. I think that they have enough dudes. I really like Cedric Gray at linebacker, Draymond Jones, Cody Barton. You got L'Jarius Sneed. If he stays healthy, he's a great corner. Yeah, I'm not loving the safety situation, but who feels good about their safety situation other than like a
Right.
handful of teams? And then you look at this offense, okay? And there's so many things to like. You have Tyler Lockett now. Okay, I know Tyler Lockett's old and washed up, but Tyler Lockett still gets it done. You have Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was a 1,000-yard receiver with Will Levis last year. Okay, you have an offensive line that is markedly improved. Markedly, they bring in Kevin Zeitler. I was watching Lions film the other day. Kevin Zeitler is awesome. He is. I mean, I knew that, but it's a nice reminder every now and again. You're like, oh yeah, you were the best guy on that line. All this Penei Sewell love. No. It's all about the Kevin Zeitler, baby. Peter Skoronski's back. You know they're going to get coached up well there because Bill Callahan, some reverse nepotism, is coaching up the offensive line. Tony Pollard apparently knows how to pick up blitzes now. That's a big deal because that's the thing that's kept him off the field. When he's on the field, he's absolutely awesome. Chika Konwu was a huge late surger last year. And then, oh yeah, they have a competent quarterback now. They went from the
Well, we'll
lowest of,
see.
no, they went from the lowest of the low down to Cam Ward. I'm not telling you that Cam Ward is, Jesus's gift to football or anything, But Cam Ward is such a dramatic upgrade over Will Levis that I have no choice but to believe in the Tennessee Titans this year. And in that division, with you picking the Colts, it's like, oh, I'll take the Titans. I'll take the Titans. If nothing else, for fantasy football purposes, buy in on the Titans. But man, I wouldn't shock me every year, save four, 2002, 2014, 2019, and 2024. So 3 times since they realigned, a team has gone from last place to first place in the NFL year over year. A lot of people are saying it's going to be the 49ers this year. I'm not one of them, but it's a very reasonable argument. We're not doing reasonable arguments here. We're doing unhinged takes. And last to first, Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not even a big Cam Ward fan. That's how little of a fan of Will Levis as we all are. And I think that if it was ever going to happen, it has to happen now. Pressure's on. Love a lot of this personnel. Tighten up, baby. Tighten up.
I love that. I love that for you. I almost went there, but I didn't. I'm gonna go to the NFC North and do a joint one.
Ooh.
1-2. JJ McCarthy will lead the Vikings to a division title, and the Lions will not make the playoffs.
Love both of those. I'm with you 100% on both of them. Not even unhinged. Exactly where my mind's at. Talk me into JJ. Talk the audience, because I'm there. Talk the audience into JJ McCarthy.
It's not even that I'm in on JJ McCarthy. It's just that there's this like weird thing that's happened where it's like he didn't play, and so he got at least a year to watch while injured, which is valuable. Like it's still valuable to have like see a year, and so he gets sort of a redshirt year that like the same thing Curtis Rourke's going to get.
Yes,
and I think Kevin O'Connell's a goddamn genius. I think he is extremely good at getting the best out of quarterbacks, whether or not they're great, mediocre, whatever. He maximizes them. He knows how to run an offense. He's going to put them in advantageous positions. And I just think like people have this like assumption that he's going to be terrible, just based on the fact that like it's been a year. I don't know. There's this weird perception that he's just going to suck, and it's not really, I think, based on anything. Right. And then when I look at the North, like it's so competitive, it's such a mess. I'm still not sure I really believe in Caleb. And the Bears, I don't know what they're going to be. They could be anything. Okay. The Packers, I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll make the playoffs. The Lions have such a rough schedule, man, that and they lost their coordinators. I think they missed the playoffs. I think the Vikings, still with Flores, still with O'Connell, are so well coordinated that they're just going to be in some really good spots, and I think they win it.
My concern with the Vikings is defensive depth, right? They are chaos, right? They doing something for a Niners column, and I ended up on that game that they played in 23, Vikings and Niners, the one that Brock Purdy's head still spinning from.
Right.
And it's like, hey, we just don't have safeties. Good luck to you. We're not going to use safeties. We're going to be effectively a Madden goal line defense the entire game. Guess who's coming? Guess who's going? And that's really fun and awesome if you're a third party. Not so awesome if you're an opposing offense. The concern is that it is so reliant on players who are versatile and really talented and kind of jacks of all trades, masters of none. And I don't think that anyone could possibly have depth that would reflect such.
Their depth is worrying. I'm just looking at that roster, and I love their starters for the most part. The depth is bad. The depth is really worrying.
The offense, though, has a chance to be like magnificent.
Right? Oh, like, yeah.
The question that you have with the offense is the first-round quarterback. But they redid the offensive line. They bring in my man Will Fries.
Justin School's still there.
Justin School's hanging around. They have Blake Brandel. It's not Jake Brendel. It's Blake Brandel. He's back up. I just thought that was a hilarious name. But they have Donovan Jackson now at left guard. You have Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill at the tackles. Like, you're feeling better about this. Oh, yeah, and Ryan Kelly from the Colts comes over. Even if he's just there for a year, he can set goddamn protection for an effectively a rookie quarterback. Jordan Mason has a chance to be the breakout guy, like the fantasy football league winner. You know what Justin Jefferson is. They got an issue, obviously, at receiver with Addison being suspended for a couple of games.
Yeah, but I'm not that worried. They brought in Thielen. Naylor's sneaky underrated, and like Ty Felton is a rookie I like. So
yeah, Josh Oliver had a really nice year for them last year. Hawkinson is really good.
Hawkinson. And they got Urosek, my guy from Georgia, who just blocks.
I am I'm in on their roster. I wonder if the Packers have too much firepower. It's really, if you're betting on the Vikings, you're having to do a fun little 1-2, which is you're betting against Jordan Love, which is fine. I'm totally in on that. I'm betting against Jordan Love too. But you're betting on J.J. McCarthy. And it's like,
Yeah, I also think the Packers tend to take really stupid losses,
yes,
and the
they love
Vikings are a
doing it.
team that wins stupid games.
Yes,
So
there it
that's kind
is.
of where my head goes there.
I love that. I love that. And I'm with you on Detroit. I mean, they're even talking about it in Detroit, like, hey, we might have missed our window there. It's like, oh, that's a great sign. That's a great sign. I heard another team talking like that about midway through last year, and
Right, right.
they decided to punt the 2025 season. Still might work out for them, but they decided to punt the 2025 season.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another one of those little mental games where I have to bet on something that's ridiculous and bet against something that's maybe a
Right,
little bit more
right.
tried and true. And I'm going to double dip along the same lines you did. I don't think the Bills or the Commanders make the playoffs.
Mm,
The Commanders is easy. Okay, let's go through why the Commanders are
the
not going to break the
Bills
playoffs.
don't make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's the hot one. Here's the Commanders' front six. Right, we all play a 4-2 now. Their front six is, and I'm not kidding here, Von Miller, Javon Kinlaw, Darren Payne, and Dorrance Armstrong on the line, with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner behind them.
Love Frankie Louvu.
Frankie Louvu's great so long as he doesn't have to go backwards or sideways. Bobby Wagner, I know that he had a tremendous amount of tackles last year. Bobby Wagner is susceptible. Let's just leave it at that. Bobby Wagner is not the best linebacker in the NFC, as alleged by all pro teams. And then Von Miller, like, what are we doing here? You're going to start Von Miller in the year of our Lord 2025? And Javon Kinlaw, who you gave $15 million to, that's that. No, yeah, Marshawn Lattimore's on the back end. I'm sure he'll clean that up. Their defense could be shambolic this year. I like some of the offense. The fact is they have one receiver. They have a Debo. They have a
They have
seventh.
McLaurin.
They have McLaurin. That's the one receiver. They
Right.
have the ghost of who's their tight end? Ertz.
Zach Ertz. Yeah, they just have a bunch of guys that like 5 years ago you're like,
Oh,
he's sick.
the 2021 season they would have kicked ass, but too bad it's 2025. Now they do have, and forgive all the religious undertones here, they have football Jesus. So everyone is just presuming things will continue on in perfect perpetuity. I just don't see it whatsoever. I think with a first place schedule, they're going to have a really, really hard time getting to the level they need to be at on a consistent week in, week out basis. They'll have their flashpoints, they'll have their days, but I think they're going to have more bad days than good. I think they're under 500. I don't think they make the playoffs.
That is a really weird defensive line group. Yeah.
It is. Adam Peters, Nate Tice made this joke on Twitter.
They got Jordan McGee, though.
You love Jordan McGee. He's injured. Adam Peters builds a team by first sorting if they played for the 49ers. Like, it's the same way Kyle kind of goes about filling the bottom end of the roster, where it's like, oh,
Yep.
has he played for me before? Cool, we'll go with him. Adam Peters does that for the top end of his roster. It's like, well, the Niners gave up on him. Like, there might be a reason why. It might be a reason why Javon Kinlaw was on the open market after being on two different teams. Let's get into the Bills one. I'm not in on their defense at all.
I'm not sure that matters.
Well, and that's what I'll get to. I think they have one outstanding corner and one outstanding defensive tackle, and everybody else is a complete crapshoot. And I don't think that there's a lot of buying. I don't think there's a lot of upside on any of it. I know they're well coordinated. I know they're well coached. I think that defense, it's just red flags all over the board. They keep losing depth. They don't reasonably replace it. They have no pop. They have no flash. They have no explosion. They're trying to play football like it was 10 years ago.
What about the ghost of Joey Bosa?
Exactly. So I'm not in on that defense holding up its end of the bargain, which means that basically you need Josh Allen, our incredible football doofus, to play 17 of the greatest games you've ever seen in a row. He plays.
You don't need him to play 17 perfect games. You need him to play like 10.
I think you need him to play like 17 perfect games with this team. 70. By the way, injury regression, I don't know what they're doing. It's the opposite of what the Niners are doing. Injury regression for that offensive line is coming in a big way. I think they lost one start the last 2 years on that offensive
You
line.
think it's the year that gets McDermott fired finally?
No, I don't think they'll fire him this year, but I think they'll fire him after next year. But I think this is just the snowball effect of all those deep runs in the playoffs, all of the wear and tear of the way that they play, right? It's not exactly like they're not a
Yeah.
physical team. You
Are
don't want to predict injuries, but like I don't think the Bills get through this season healthy, and if they can't get through this season healthy, specifically with 17, they don't stand a chance.
Are you betting on Drake May?
I'm not. Well, I am, but I'm not, because here's the flip side, right? You made the argument of like, oh, you have to bet for
You have to pick another team in that division to win it.
I know. You ready for this? I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Okay. Yeah. To me that makes sense, assuming Tua like doesn't take any hits.
Correct.
Right.
I am now predicting that the guy who could die on any rep.
God, it's so scary.
Will make it through the season, healthy, slinging it. Everything will be A-okay. And the Mack truck of a football player who can do whatever he wants out there, the white Cam Newton, will not. That is what I'm predicting. And in that, the Dolphins, who somehow went 8-9 last year, and whose record with Tua as a starter is 38-24, I think they claim it over the Patriots.
They should honestly have like a flag situation for Tua, and I'm like not even really joking. For my own anxieties, it's so hard to like actually watch him play.
Jake, who do you think led the Buffalo Bills in touchdown catches last year?
Oof. That's an excellent question. It probably wasn't Shakir.
It wasn't.
I am going to guess it's a player who no longer plays for them.
Okay, there's a lot of those.
But I can't remember who played for them. Can I say Curtis Samuel?
It's a good guess, but it's Mac Hollins. He had 5.
Yeah, Mac Hollins had a great year for them.
How do you replace Mac Hollins? Like,
they have a really worrying group.
Yes. So much so that I'm betting against them. Jake, do you have any other predictions?
Here's going to be my hottest one.
Ooh, lay it on me, baby.
Torrey Horton will lead all rookie wide receivers in yardage.
That's a really good prediction.
Here's the path. Here's the path. Cooper Kupp, who I have drafted in both leagues, immediately explodes. Almost immediately. Torrey Horton, who's already, I think, we'll see, but number 3 for the Seahawks, slots in that number 2 role. Teams put a ton of pressure on JSN, and they go to Torrey Horton, who's like sneaky amazing and just snaps off the top of his routes and can run after catch and gets put in really advantageous positions, gets good matchups, and just goes for like 1,000 yards. And everyone goes, what on earth? Who's Torrey Horton? It's like, well, he missed last year due to injury, but he was pretty sick at Colorado State. So I'm going to say Torrey Horton, who is definitely like a draft crush of mine. I think that's my hottest prediction probably, is that he leads all rookie wide receivers, cracks the 1,000-yard mark.
You have to remember what the Seahawks are going to do this year, which is they're going to go all in on a classic Kubiak outside zone offense, right? It will not be as nuanced or layered as a Shanahan or an O'Connell or a McVay, right? Because it just doesn't have those kind of years of adapt and react and all that, right? Those guys have to constantly evolve because the book has been out on them. They have to rewrite the book.
Right.
Is it Clint or Clay? I can't remember. I can't keep my Kubiak.
Clay's with the Niners. Clint is with Seattle.
So Clint Kubiak.
There's another Kubiak, by the way, who's also got a K name. I think he actually works in the Niners scouting or front office department. Anyway, continue.
I'd presume they have some incubator for Kubiaks. The book is not as out, to be certain, on Clint Kubiak. And yes, the NFL has gotten a lot better at addressing those offenses, but they got dudes now. But let's think about just what that Kubiak offense is, and let's think about kind of a definitive, not high end, not low end, just solid X receiver in a Kubiak offense. We're talking Brandon Ayuk.
Yep.
X receiver. What do you need to be able to do? You need to be able to create separation long. You need to be able to create separation on digs. Okay? What did Torrey Horton do repeatedly, unquestionably at Colorado State? When, by the way, he was the offense. I know they had Trey McBride for like a minute, but
Yeah.
he was the offense. It was nothing but those exact routes. It is a perfect lineup for him to line up on the line of scrimmage, doesn't need the cushion, as an X receiver. And I think JSN's going to move all around. I think JSN's going to have a huge year. I'm very in. 1,000 yards might be a stretch. Love it. Love the prediction. But I'm all in on Torrey Horton as a total breakout.
Let me also mention, so it's JSN, Torrey Horton, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Behind them, there's Jake Bobo, who's like fun, but like
you can play him at X in the red zone. He can do you some stuff. He's a nice depth receiver.
He's a big, great doofus to have as a wide receiver. And then there's
generous.
Cody White and Derek Young. So
yeah, you're going to ride Horton. Superb. You're going to ride Horton. I'm in on that. Can we get a little weirder, a little more sick?
Do it.
The NFL changed the overtime rules this year. Both teams are now allowed to possess the ball regardless of what happens on the first possession. We're going to have 4 ties in the NFL this year.
Ooh, I like that.
There have been 4 ties since 2020. There have been 29 ties since overtime rules changed in the 70s. We're going to have 4 this year alone because here's how it's going to go down. Teams are going to get to overtime. First team's going to score a touchdown. Usually that means game over. But they took like 6-7 minutes to score that touchdown because they had a long, sustained drive. They scored it. Awesome. Then the other team's going to get the ball. They're going to run a 2-minute drill. They're going to score a touchdown. And there's going to be like 30 seconds left on the clock. Tie.
Beautiful.
Because the other team now, by the way, as you can ask Patrick Mahomes, they know they have to score a touchdown. There's no alternative. They're going to be going for it on 4th down the whole way.
No question.
They changed the overtime rule so that both teams get to get the ball, but they didn't expand the time that overtime takes. It's still 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's going to be so many ties this year, and I'll even go a step further in weirdness. I think the NFC West is decided by ties. That division is so tight that there are going to be like 2 ties in that division alone, and we're going to have to go deep into the rule book to figure out what the hell that means come the end of the season. I am predicting, this is not one of these, but I am predicting that the 49ers and the Seahawks will be playing for the division title and the 1 playoff spot at the end of the season. They'll both have what?
Will they both make it because of a tie?
And I think they'll both have 8 wins and a tie. And there will be a question of how, so you have to win to get in and win the division. And so it's going to be a whole weird thing. Week 18, 49ers, Seahawks. I'm sure it'll be the primetime game. The Niners will be wearing those stupid-ass black uniforms. Heaven forbid a classic brand team just wears their normal uniforms. You know, whatever.
Don't buy stuff that the NFL tries to sell you. Don't buy extra bullshit.
And also don't buy a jersey of someone who's younger than you. That's just weird. It's just weird. You can wear like an old jersey of someone who's older than you. Then it's like, hey, I'm reliving my childhood.
It's been an interesting policy you have, but I kind of get it.
We'll get into that some other time. That's an off-season topic. Regardless, it's not like there's things that lack Niners logos. Their color is red, and the Niners logo is slapped on everything on the planet. You'll survive. People will know you're a fan of the team if you don't end up wearing, a Christian McCaffrey jersey as a 50-year-old man. But I digress. I think ties are going to be. I think within the first 4 weeks of the season, people are going to be like, "Oh boy, we did not foresee the amount of ties that are happening here." I think it comes off the bat. I think it decides a division. I think that ties are going to be the weird undercurrent of the NFL in 2025.
I love it. I will give you one more really just stupid prediction that's Niners based.
Love it.
And it's that Isaac Guerrero will tie or beat the 49ers record for longest play. It will not be a run. It will be a reception, at least 97 yards.
Wow.
Which is the record from Steve Young to, I believe, John Taylor, 97 yards, 1991. And I'm going to say Isaac Guerrero hits like a little slot wheel against a linebacker from like the 2-yard line and goes like 98 yards when Christian McCaffrey's out and the 49ers actually do go 2 running backs because McCaffrey's out, and they're basically using Brian Thomas Jr. And then they say, all right, we got one package.
Brian Thomas Jr. They're using Brian Robinson.
Sorry. and that's the first time I've gotten a name wrong. Dieter's corrected me. And
You
then
should
they've
feel
got.
so much shame.
I feel like an idiot. And then they just have Guerrero. They put him in the slot and they say, all right, no one knows what to expect from you. You're going to beat this linebacker without craft,
Yep.
just pure speed. We're going to throw you a wheel, and you're going to go 98 yards. And that's how they set the record.
I dig it. The biggest challenge on that is twofold. One, Isaac Guerrero would have to see the field.
This is correct.
And
this
two,
is assuming an injury.
Kyle Shanahan would have to call a pass 2 yards away from his own end zone. But if those two things line up, he absolutely can do it. The play
I think this is the 49ers in like a desperate spot in like week 11 where they're down like 10.
Yeah. I'm in. I'm in on that. Okay.
I don't know why it's week 11. That's probably their bye week.
Who do they play in week 11?
I don't know.
Week 11 is the Cardinals on the road.
Great.
So get your tickets to Arizona now. History's coming. Okay, this one is... I don't think it's that bold. I think we've talked about this guy a lot. I think everyone's talking about this guy a lot. This might be my tamest of all of these predictions. But I think Ricky Pearsall goes for 1,200 yards receiving this year. And just for context here, let me run through the 49ers who have gone for 1,200 yards. There was this guy named Jerry Rice. He did it, is that 10 times? Yeah.
It's like when you look at Wayne Gretzky and Jerry Rice stats and you're like, what's happening here?
T.O. did it 3 times. Deebo Samuel did it in 2021. George Kittle did it in 2018. Brandon Ayuk did it in 2023. And Dave Parks, shout out Dave Parks, 1,300 yards in 1965. Add Ricky Pearsall to the list at the end of the year. I think Ricky is going to get targeted early and often. We kind of presume that based on the state of the receiver room, even with Juwan Jennings back. And I just don't think he lets up. I think that chemistry is real. I think that he is the exact kind of receiver that can go absolutely thermonuclear in a Kyle Shanahan offense because he can play the X because he can separate at the line of scrimmage. He's got the deep speed, maybe not elite, but very high-end deep speed. Great contested ball catcher, especially in one-on-one situations along the sideline. But he also has crazy yak ability. And we saw that a ton when he was playing at Florida. They just got him the ball and got the hell up out of the way. And 60 yards later, he's in the end zone. A little bit different in the NFL, to be sure. But you can't just be that good in the SEC and then have none of it at the pro level. I think they're going to move.
And his quarterbacks were trying to get him killed.
Those guys sucked. They suck so hard. I don't even like Florida, and I was angry for them. So I think Ricky Pearsall, they're going to move him around the formation. I think all of this receiver musical chairs that they're doing does not affect him in the least bit, because I think that they will just find ways every week to put him in the most advantageous spot to get as many targets as possible, because every time you target him, he's going to be making plays. I think this is the year of Ricky Pearsall joining the illustrious company of Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk that one time, and Dave Parks.
Shout out Dave Parks.
Shout out Dave Parks.
What else do you want to hit before we get out of here?
This is going to be the greatest kicking season in the history of the NFL, Jake. It's a shame that the Niners won't be a part of it.
I saw. Did you see the? Who was it? It was Iowa State's kicker made a 63-yarder.
Yep. It's out of control. They're so good. Everybody, it's such a bizarre craft kicking that it's somewhat like being a pitcher in baseball. And we've seen in baseball how now everyone just throws 95, even though the human UCL cannot handle it. They're just like, no, you have to throw faster. You have to throw faster. You have to throw faster. These kickers have been in the similar sort of training programs. Have to go farther. Have to go farther. Accuracy be damned. Go further. So let me just run some numbers here by you. There have been 40 total 60-yard field goals made in the history of the NFL. We're getting 10 this year. And
I love that.
It's not just strictly because of kickers being awesome and Brandon Aubrey chip-shotting a 65-yarder in the preseason. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He
No, I didn't.
It. No, he just took out a 7-iron and knocked through 65.
I played golf with a guy who was doing that. He was only hitting 3/4 swings. It was sick.
Yeah, it just took 2 steps and kind of just a little lazy swing from the other side of the field. This is, and we've mentioned this once before on the show. I'm not sure I hammered home how
The K-ball.
the K-ball, how important this is. The K-ball came into existence like 20 years ago, okay? It was so that kickers who were getting too good couldn't use a tacked up ball, right? Because having some grip between your foot and the ball is good for kickers. It also has a little bit more give because the ball has been worked. So they changed out the ball so that the kickers were just hitting rocks. It's a brand new ball. I did bring a demonstration here. It's effectively this football, okay? This is not the color of a game ball. This is a ball that hasn't been mudded up, hasn't been rubbed up, hasn't been bent up. This is a ball that just came out of the box. This is what they were kicking. It is hard.
By the way, for our next episode, Dieter's going to do an ASMR where he rubs up a football and muds it up for 45 minutes. That's a members only.
Yeah, that's an OnlyFans. So you like that mud? Regardless, there you go.
Hated that.
Yeah, you should. But there's some people who are it touches them in just the right place. Rub up your ball only on Deer and Hutch show. I was making what I thought to be a salient point, but now that we're derailed, no. Okay, so the K ball they would give them to kickers and punters 90 minutes before the game. That's not enough time to do anything to mess that ball up. Now they're getting them the same time the team gets their game ball shipments, and kickers. I'm not sure if you know this, Jake. Have nothing to do pretty much all day, every day. They have to be at the facility, sure. But
they're basically not on the team in a way.
They just sort of hang out on the side. I mean, it feels sometimes like Greg Papa, and get well soon, Greg, is more involved with the San Francisco 49ers as a play-by-play guy than the kickers.
It's
punters.
A totally different, they're just operating on their own planet.
And so these guys have nothing but time now to rub up some balls, to just really give them the bend. And I think it's already manifested itself with how you see these kickers going in the preseason. We have the perfect convergence of the ball being just absolutely bootable for the first time in 20 years and kickers having prepared for this moment for the last 20 years as a collective. And I just think that we're going to see 10 60-yard field goals. I think we're going to see more attempts than ever. I think that the field goal is, especially too, you consider now that the touchback is to like the 35. You only have to get like 10 yards for some of these kickers to be within field goal range, reasonable field goal range. And I know there will be some coaches that refuse to do it, but if you're Brian Schottenheimer, why wouldn't you have Brandon Autry giving you 3 points on nearly every possession? You can use all you can get.
Especially in Brazil, people are going to get that. People are going to be able to wrap their heads around kicking the ball far. It's going to be awesome.
We have coaches that are more open-minded to going for it on fourth down than ever before. This feeds into that, right? Because of the risk of field position loss, this feeds into it. They're more comfortable with the field position loss. I just think that we're going to have an absolutely crazy year for field goal kicking to the point where they're going to have to change the rules again.
I think it's a great take. By the way, you briefly looked like Brian Schneider, who was trying to describe last year's kickoff rules, where he was like, it's a little like this. It's like a matrix. And that did not bode well for the 49ers or Brian Schneider, who's like, we don't know. We're trying to figure it out. I went, okay, clearly. You should have a better idea than we do.
We know you don't know, Brian. That's pretty obvious, buddy.
Right.
Nice guy. Do you have any other takes, or is that we emptied the clip here?
Yeah, I mean.
Give me a half-baked take. What's something just sitting here? This is a safe space. No one's watching.
I do think the Niners finally cracked the 50 sack total that they haven't done in the Shanahan years. They had 48 and 23, 48 and 21, and 48 in 19. So it would be the year to get exactly 48 because it's every other year. I think they finally cracked 50. I think they have some good pieces and some good depth to move around on the defensive line.
Yeah.
And then outside of the 49ers, I'll say, this contradicts my Torrey Horton take. But if the Torrey Horton take doesn't work out, I'll say Emeka Egbuka wins Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
It won't happen because he plays for the Bucs and it'll be too boring, and they'll want to give it to Ashton Genty. But yeah,
I emptied the clip. I gave you kickers. I gave you ties. That's all I have to give you right now. I'm gonna go.
That's great. That's great.
I feel it was cathartic, but I'm empty inside now. Those takes were the only thing holding me up, Jake. So here's the rest of the schedule. We're going to be talking 49ers Seahawks. Deep cuts. we're going to get weird with it. I'm amped. This game is going to be, I don't want to get into it here, but just suffice it to say, this
Yeah.
game's going to be awesome. Like,
I think
I'm
I'll be
really
watching
excited.
in Midtown Manhattan.
Okay, enough with the travel. I'll be watching here. I'll be sitting right here, watching the game here. Heaven forbid somebody actually engages with the content.
Yeah,
Good
but it's
luck.
going to be good.
Hopefully you
'Cause
have
I'm gonna have
Verizon
bad-
NFL Pass.
I'm gonna have good, bad East Coast takes to give you that people who've like never watched the 49ers and are like, who's this Ricky Pearsall dude?
Well, and everything will be twinged with the fact that I hate this guy. It's like, oh, what don't you like?
They're all
about his
gonna be
game?
angry because the Giants will have lost badly earlier in the day.
Okay, you want a half-baked take? I think the Giants can be pretty good this year. I like their
Maybe.
defense a lot.
Maybe.
I like their defense a lot. I don't think the Jets are going to be good. I think
Yeah, although the Giants and Jets, I feel like do tend to have like week 1 or week 2 like win where people are like, oh my god,
Totally.
is it happening? So yeah. By the way, look up when the Jets last made the playoffs and funniest streak in football by far.
I have no interest in doing that.
I think it was yeah.
Was
Mark
I
Sanchez?
alive? Were you alive?
Yeah, no, it was. I remember. I think it was Mark Sanchez years.
Real quick, hot take: Niners make the playoffs?
Yep.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. It's not to say that it won't be a good year. I think that we will be more optimistic about the 49ers at the end of this season.
Yeah, no
having
question.
not made the playoffs. Obviously, the alternative would be even better. But like, I feel like this is going to be a weird gap year that everyone comes out being like, I kind of like where they're at.
Yeah, I think they sneak in. I think I'm looking around at the NFC, and once again, the NFC. I'm just like, all right. So there's the Eagles.
Yep.
And then I guess the Packers and no one else.
Yeah.
Like I want to say the Rams, but I don't believe in Matthew Stafford's back at all.
No,
the
I'm sure the Houston Texans will make sure that all of his discs stay in place after week 1.
The Seahawks feel like a year away for me.
That's fair.
I don't know what the Bears are going to be. The Vikings could be good, as I predicted.
I'm with you.
I think the Bucks will be fine, probably win that garbage division. Maybe
Their
the Falcons will
defense sucked last year. Why is it going to be any better this year? Falcons
Dieter, I'm telling you, these teams all suck. Okay,
I know, that's what I'm saying, but I don't think the Niners are particularly.
So I
head
just
and
think
shoulders above.
Yeah, I just think it's a lot of bad teams, and the Niners will find a way with their schedule.
The schedule.
The schedule.
They should. If the Niners make the playoffs this year, they should retire the 2025 schedule's number. Just put the 25 schedule up in the rafters because that will be the team MVP. It sounds like he's already way out ahead.
It should be. It should be.
All right. That's enough of that. We'll talk 49ers and Seahawks later this week. Bye.